Go live. Oh, there it is. Now it's live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 40th installment of the Play Extra podcast. I am Will, and I have Talk Show U's very own Josh Connett. Josh, hello.
What's up, everybody?
What is going on, everyone? Join the conversation in the comments here. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Drop whatever you think, and we're doing the AFC West this week. Colin's on vacation. He's enjoying the nice sunny beaches of the Outer Banks.
Must be nice.
I bet it must be nice. I mean, I just got back camping. Oh,
speaking of Outer Banks, it's a great show on Netflix. I recommend it to everybody. I talk to Will's significant other about it almost daily, so Will's still trying to watch it. But yeah,
you talk to my girlfriend more than I do.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in her DMs more than Will is, 100%.
Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and this is the Play Action Podcast.
This is the Play Action Podcast featuring Will.
It's not every time. It's not every time.
Every time.
Featuring Colin.
The guy, if you go back into our division thing, this guy had the Jets.
I picked the Jets to win.
For no what reason?
Yeah.
Featuring a whole lot of arguing.
Playoffs, we're gonna win the division.
Listen. You need to
realize
realize my thinking process here because the Bills.
There is no thinking process.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
And I told people the Steelers were going to be decent. I didn't have the Steelers like, oh, they're godly. No, I was realistic. You were very unrealistic with the Jets.
Colton,
and guess who was right and guess who was wrong, Will? You were dead wrong about the Jets. I was dead right about Goat Allen and the Bills. And I was right about the Steelers. Come on now.
Come on now is right. And we got a special guest that just tuned in here. It's Colton.
Yes.
What is up, boys? Stop in real quick.
He always makes an appearance. I love it. What's going on, Colton? Can you give us the Al Roker weather forecast going on out in the Outer Banks here?
Weather forecast. We got gray skies out here. A little cloudy. 80 degrees. Nothing too crazy, but today was another beach day. Josh, appreciate you filling in for me, dude. And Will, as always, my man. Great show, and I'll be partaking and listening a little bit. But I wanted to stop in, thank Josh for filling in for me, and let's go, boys. AFC West, right? Okay.
Well, AFC West is true, and we're gonna be getting to work here right now. So, Josh, as you've known from other times, we go through from the worst team all the way to the best team. So let's get this going now. We're starting out with the Denver Broncos. This past week, they play the Minnesota Vikings on Saturday, and Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater have phenomenal outings for both starting positions for the Broncos. Now it causes a quarterback controversy. Where are you going to be going with the Broncos? Could it be Drew Lock? Could it be Teddy Bridgewater? This is essentially a do-or-die situation for Drew Lock. What's your guys' thoughts on this?
I personally think the old saying of when you have two quarterbacks, you have zero is still standing here. I think that when you have a young quarterback in Drew Lock, you need to trust him and give him the system and trust him with your playbook and let him run with it. Because if you're not giving him a full opportunity, then he's not going to give you everything he's got, in my opinion. So I think if you got 50-50 shots with Drew Lock and Teddy B, then you're not helping your team as much as you could. So I think Drew Lock's a solid quarterback. I think he can easily produce and be an NFL quarterback. I don't think he's going to be best of the best, but I consider him average, maybe a little bit above average quarterback in the NFL. So I think as long as they can trust him with the reins of the offense, then we could see this Broncos offense with Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler fly.
Yeah, for me, I think this, again, like you said, Josh, hit the nail on the head on this one. We got two quarterbacks, you got none. I don't think these guys are anywhere close to what the standard is for this division when how Justin Herbert played exceptionally well in his rookie campaign. And there's clearly no answer for the guy on top of this division and for Derek Carr for that matter. So, yeah, they need to figure this out. I think it's Drew Lock's last hoorah. he's got weapons. You just look at the receivers, the tight end, like it's there. So I mean, geez Louise, but I'm not gonna sit here and hound on this episode. This is U2's puppy. Just want to stop in. Thank Josh for stepping in for me this week, and boys, I'll be rewatching this sucker. So
see you later, Cole.
Thank you, Colin. Enjoy the weather.
Appreciate it, boys.
But let's look at the rest of the team here. Javonte Williams, he could be the guy that's going to be the starter next year with Melvin Gordon. Probably not going to be getting re-signed after this year. He signed a 2-year extension last offseason. Didn't really show a lot, but, they still have Mike Boone. They have Royce Freeman. They're still really good backfield. The receivers, on the other hand, I love this receiving core. Cortland Sutton coming back from ACL surgery. Jerry Jeudy, who actually had a good rookie year, nothing phenomenal, very good rookie year. KJ Hamler, the man out of Penn State, speedster, and also Noah Fant, Iowa, right? Iowa product?
Noah Fant, Iowa, yeah.
Okay, see, look, I'm learning my college from Josh here. That's why me and him we're tight here. I learned my stuff from him. But really, the rest of this offense, very, very youthful offensive line. They had the Jawan James incident where he tore his Achilles outside the training facility, whole spiel going on. Do you think this team can get something going here? Like just anything especially on offense?
I think with the offense, my only problem, I have 2 problems with the offense, is that one, they're super young, and I think they have a lot of work to do chemistry-wise, building it wise, just things to do. The other thing that I'm looking at is this division. I don't think this is a very fun division when you're not that good to play against. When you're playing Kansas City and the Chargers 4 times a year, those aren't fun 4 games. I'm sorry. But those offenses, I think, are much better than this offense and much more established. Even Vegas, which we're going to look at, I know. I would consider them a little better than Denver, not much better. But I just think that they're not in a fun division to play against. So when you're in a division that's, I would consider above average division. You got a pretty good division here. I just think it's not good when you're the bottom of the barrel looking up.
Let's see what Colin has just said here. Team's a quarterback away from being scary, but it's a big miss. They have to try finding one since Peyton. And if Drew Lock doesn't pan out, I mean, Teddy's always going to get the short end of the stick because this man's never given a good opportunity anywhere he goes. In could come Aaron Rodgers. This could be one of the teams Aaron Rodgers could go for because I don't think he plays with Denver Denver plays with Green Bay past this season. So this is going to be a potential landing spot with especially this incredible youthful offensive core. Well, let's go into the defensive side here. Let's get this going. Defensive side, Denver's always been having a great defense all the way back for like the last 10 years. They've had a very good defense. They bring in Kyle Fuller from Chicago, who got cut due to, salary cap concerns with $182 million that every team has to deal with. They bring in Ronald Darby. They draft Pat Surtain, Bryce Callahan. They also re-signed Justin Simmons off the franchise tender to a nice 5-year contract. And also acquire Von Miller again for way less money than what he was owed. The defense is there. Vic Fangio has a very good defense to play with here. But with what I can't speak. What Fangio's had troubles with is how this defense, the injuries, is just how everyone just gets injured on this team. And I know Fangio in 2018, a fantastic Chicago defense he had, number 1 in the league. Goes to Denver, who's always had a very good defense from the John Fox era to the Kubiak. Now it's this. Expectations going into this year with this defense.
For me, I think the defense is good, but like you said, the injuries scare me with this defense. I feel like it always has in the past couple of years. Von Miller, not paying him as much, so I think that's solid because he doesn't deserve a ton of money, in my opinion. I think he's a little overrated. But you got Kyle Fuller, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, Ronald Darby. I think it's a stacked secondary, especially Pat Surtain, you said, from Alabama. So I think that's a solid secondary, and I think it's going to have it's going to give offenses a lot of problems, in my opinion. The front side, I don't know what they've got, though, to be honest. I don't know Dramont Jones. I know Jonathan Harris. I know Mike Purcell. Bradley Chubb, I think, is solid, but he's also a wide linebacker. But I just think that the defense is solid. Secondary, front-wise, I think they could be better, but secondary, probably one of the better ones in the league, to be honest with you. So I do think that as long as they can stay healthy and stay good, they'll probably be one of the top defenses in the league again. Top 8.
And if they could give, the offense a very short field to play with, as we saw Patrick Surtain ate up against the Vikings and Kellen Mond last week, this could give Drew Lock and or Teddy Bridgewater, whoever's going to be the starter, even Brett Rippon could probably have a chance, a very short field to play with and not have to rely on trying to drive down 75, 80 yards down the field.
Can we talk real quick about the quarterback situation again real quick, Will? Because before we started, you specifically said something that just rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. Would you like to say it again?
I actually forgot what I said. If you want to remind me of what I said.
You said Drew Lock is better than Justin Fields. Quote, unquote, exactly.
No, I never said that. No, I did not say that. I said with Patrick Surtain, this team is really defensive. This team is a big defense. And if you look at the defense here, Kyle Fuller, 1-year contract, Ronald Darby, 3 years, but they're going to end up moving him to safety. Bryce Callahan, 1-year contract, Kareem Jackson, 1-year contract. Patrick Surtain's going to be moving right in. And if he's going to play like he did this first week of the preseason, why not give him a couple $1 million a year? You don't have to pay him top cornerback money. Like, your Stephon Gilmore's, your JC Jacksons. You're not going to have to rely on paying him, $15, $17 million, and you're going to have a great stud at corner.
But when you have the offense that you have, besides the quarterback position, why do you not take Justin Fields?
Well, they clearly think that they can acquire Deshaun Watson. They can acquire Aaron Rodgers.
Right. They could think out maybe sticking it out with Drew Lock or Teddy B, whoever they're big on right now, and then get Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson next season maybe, which could be a very high option, I think. Or Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma, coming in next year's draft would be solid if they're high up there. But I don't know where I think they're going to fall, to be honest. I think they're going to win more games than they should.
I think they're not going to win like 7 to 9 games. I think that, the ceiling could be higher, but also the floor could just honestly give out, and they could just be, a 4-win team.
100%.
Drew Lock balled out in the preseason game 1, so I think you have to stay with him. But also, Jacob, you have to realize it's the Vikings defense. The Vikings defense is atrocious.
Yeah.
When you look up dumpster fire, the Jets are the first picture, and the Vikings are the second picture.
See, but Jacob says to stick with Drew Lock, but in our Madden franchise, he completely got rid of Drew Lock and traded for Kyler Murray. So I don't know what he's talking about over there, but.
Well, let's move on to the next team. An exciting team, to say the least, a dark horse team. The Los Angeles Chargers, they got to open up their stadium with fans for the first time this past Saturday against the Los Angeles Rams, the Battle of LA. Justin Herbert, a fantastic rookie. I kind of wrote him off. I didn't think he was going to get that much playing time, but he blew away my expectations tenfold. I think Justin Herbert could be a dark horse MVP this year. I'm going to say it right now. And if you're looking at the rest of this team, Austin Eckler, he missed a couple games last year, but Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, they stepped in. They ended up playing some games, and they also rotated a couple of other guys out who are not on this team at this moment. What's the expectation with Justin Herbert going into this year with an Anthony Lynn less offense, coaching staff wise?
I have very high expectations for this Chargers offense. When you look at them and their weapons, I think they're kind of underrated. I might put them up there with the Cowboys and how many weapons they have with Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, even Joshua Kelly from UCLA. I think he's a solid young running back. Sorry, almost said quarterback. Then you look at the receivers: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer. Pretty sure he's pretty young. KJ Hill. I just like a lot of their weapons that they're surrounding Justin Herbert with, or they got Justin Herbert probably after him. But I just think that this offense is very, very scary. And last season's record of 7-9 does not mean anything because me and you both know they lost a lot of close games, even second half. Really, they kind of just said, "All right, we're done." And just didn't play. So I think the 7-9 record from last season is a fluke, if I'm being honest with you. I think they should have at least had 10 wins and really put on a heck of a show, but I think that's what's going to happen this year. So I'm excited for this team.
I mean, finishing second to the bottom, you're going to be playing, you're going to be playing two teams in divisions where they're going to be bad, but the Chargers could honestly write off 2 wins right off the bat from there. But for those that love fantasy football, a guy that will be available at the end of your drafts, and you should pick him up and just hold on him and see what happens. Joshua Palmer, the 3rd rounder for the Chargers. This man's going to be eating it up, and he's already been eating it up in practice. Beware of this guy. If you see him, mark him on your boards. Make sure you don't auto draft him in the 3rd round. Look at him at the end of the draft. This is a guy I'm definitely going to be looking at a couple deep leagues. Joshua Palmer. Remember the name. Just keep in the back of your head.
Just keep the first name in mind because I'm pretty sure just Joshua first name is just solid. So Joshua Kelly, Joshua Palmer, Joshua Connett.
There's
legends.
also Jalen, Joe, Justin, a lot of J's all over the place. I also love the acquisition of Jared Cook. I mean, you kind of lose a step there with the youthfulness of Hunter Henry, but bringing in a veteran like Jared Cook, it's like your Antonio Gates for your Phillip Rivers. It's a great piece to have. And then the offensive line, you basically steal Corey Lindsey from the Packers. You draft Rashawn Slater. Stolen. You also have former Packer right there, Brian Bulaga. You lose Mike Pouncey, but you get a much better center with Corey Lindsey, and also Matt Feeler from the Pittsburgh Steelers steps in right there. They're protecting him, and this offense, I'm glad the Jets don't play the Chargers this year because this team can honestly put up 40 points with ease. I don't see any reason why they can't.
Yeah, to me, honestly, looking at this offense, the more I think about it, I think, to be honest, and this could be a hot take, I don't think it's that hot of a take, is that I think this offense is top 5 in the league. And I personally think it's very easily top 5. With the weapons that they have in the season that Justin Herbert had last year, I think it's easily a top 5 offense, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too, but let's go to this defense here. The secondary, Derwin James, I know he's not playing this preseason, and thank God they're not playing him because this man, when healthy, is a force to be reckoned with. And also Chris Harris, they draft Asante Samuel Jr. We already know what his dad has done. His dad's killed the game with the Eagles and the Patriots, and then also the Falcons the later part of his career. This team, I mean, even up front, Kenneth Murray, another OU product that Josh clearly knows very well of.
Yes,
Joey
sir.
Bosa, you didn't even know Linval Joseph was still playing in the league here.
No, I saw his name and was super surprised. He was like back from the graveyard, I swear.
But this defense, it's not the best defense. There's better defenses in this league, but this defense will be able to keep them in games, especially if how the offense is going to be going. It's not Tennessee Titans, Dallas Cowboys bad, but it's not going to be New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers good. You're going to be like smack dab in the middle, could balance back and forth either way. I'm liking this team. I think this team has a lot of potential. This defense has a lot of potential to keep the offense in games. It's not going to stop opposing offenses, all the time, but it's going to do a lot to help Justin Herbert, get into those game-winning situations or even just seal the deal, end the game.
I agree. I think what you said about being dead middle of the road for this, I think this is a very average defense, which I don't think is a knock on them at all. I think they have a lot of potential. But when you look at guys like they drafted Asante Samuel Jr., even Kenneth Murray last year, I just think it's solid young guys that you've got coming up, especially when you've got Chris Harris, Derwin James, like you said, when he's healthy, he's one of the best safeties in the league. So I think that whenever you put all these guys together, even Joey Bosa, I hate that I can't mention him, Joey Bosa, Linval Joseph, Justin Jones, the defense I think is maybe a little above average. But I think
say between like 16 and like 12.
Yep. And even Chris Rumpf was another guy that was drafted from Duke, and I'm pretty sure he fell pretty far when he shouldn't have. So, and Asante Samuel should have been drafted first round, but he was gone in the second. So they got some steals, I think, in this draft that could work out for them.
Steals and deals. I'm excited to see. I mean, I'm not putting your bets on there, but if you do have a gambling problem, call 100 Gambler. But I think I might have to put a bet on Justin Herbert as an MVP because why not? It's there. I think he can honestly steal it with him.
Yeah, Will's got that contact save, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, it's on speed dial.
Speed dial number 1.
But let's look into the Vegas Raiders. They opened up their stadium last weekend to the fans, and it was sold out. I've never seen a preseason game sold out. And these preseason tickets were $200 a piece for the last row of the nosebleeds. The cheapest ticket to this game, like any of these games, are $300 for the last row of the nosebleeds. These are expensive tickets, but this is probably the cleanest stadium out there next to SoFi. Just out of all the new stadiums that are opening up and eventually will be opening up down the road, this is a place that's definitely going to be rocking. I did have someone comment on our Instagram page at Play Action Podcast. Vegas is going to become a sports town, and he says he's not surprised. The guy Michael Hallman, I've had class with him. He has a great sports page. He's not going to be surprised if the Oakland A's end up moving into Las Vegas. And could you see this team, like Vegas, as a sports town, especially with the Golden Knights as hot as they are, and you got the Raiders who have been in the upside of recent years with Gruden?
What was the last part you just said?
Could they become a sports town? That's basically the question.
I think they definitely could. I mean, especially when you look at what they did in that one preseason game, sold out preseason game that I don't think I've seen, just like you. And the stadium is just wild to me.
As Gruden calls it, the Death Star. Gruden calls it the Death Star. I call it the Roomba of the desert.
Roomba of the desert. That's a good one. But I just think that the SoFi Stadium just looks so nice and so futuristic, if that's what you want to call it, modern, whatever you want to call it. And I think whenever you have that's your first team in Vegas, or I don't know, previous teams in Vegas, obviously you got the Golden Knights too. But I just think that whenever you have that as your first team in Vegas, second team in Vegas, that could turn some tides, I think, especially in that city. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing some teams over there.
Well, that's enough of the town. Let's talk about the football team here. Derek Carr, another year. He says he feels like he's 20 years old.
I thought we were West, not NFC East football team. Sorry.
I don't even remember what I said.
You said football team. I'm just messing you around because there's actually a team called the football team now, Will. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Nope, no more. Yeah, I can't say it.
I need the little NBC thing. The more you know, just go across.
Yeah, you do.
But Derek Carr says he feels as youthful as he has ever felt. They bring in Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. Going to say it right now on paper, top 5, 1-2 running back combo in this league. Could be even top 3. You got the bruiser, Josh Jacobs. You have the receiving back at Kenyon Drake. You still have Jalen Richard. I think this team can do a lot more. I'm not a fan of the receiving core though. Brian Edwards. I love Hunter Renfrow, Henry Ruggs. I'm not really impressed with that much. All besides one catch against the Jets on a cover 0 from Greg Williams. That sealed the deal for his fate.
Best defensive call ever.
But depth-wise, I love John Brown. I love Zay Jones. I love Willie Snead. I love these like veteran players. And also, I'm going to say it, best tight end in the league, Darren Waller. 4 years sober for this man. This man, celebrate Darren Waller. 4 years of sobriety. Seeing it all over my Instagram, so kudos to him. But what are you thinking of this Raiders team?
I love the running back room. I love the wide receiver room. I do not trust Derek Carr. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty low on Derek Carr. I think he's a solid quarterback at times, but I also think he's inconsistent. So I think that with all these weapons, you look at Josh Jacobs and Kenny Drake, if he can just feed them the ball and let them run most games, I think they'll be pretty all right in this division. Even throwing up to Henry Ruggs, who is crazy fast, and that's really all he is just crazy fast. And then you got veterans, like you said, John Brown, Zay Jones, Willie Snead. Those are great guys to teach these younger guys, Henry Ruggs and Hunter Renfrow, what's up and how to play receiver even in the league. So I think with this, I think the offense is pretty good. I just don't trust Derek Carr that much. I'm going to be honest.
I've been reading some reports from Raiders camp that Hunter Renfrow has burned Jalen Ramsey several times from the slot today. So that could be showing Hunter Renfrow's really good or Jalen Ramsey's slowly falling down that money hole. I don't know which way this ends up going.
Yeah, but also I know for a fact that Henry Ruggs is faster than Hunter Renfrow. So I'm only wondering what Henry Ruggs could do against Jalen Ramsey then. But that's why I think it might be a more Jalen Ramsey thing than a Hunter Renfrow thing. But maybe, who knows? It could be both.
And you look at the offensive line here. Oh, you're echoing right now.
I'm echoing?
Yeah, you were echoing. Okay. Now the echo's gone. Rodney Hudson shipped to Arizona. They ended up sending another piece to Seattle, which I will be covering next week with Colton. But they draft Alex Leatherwood in the first round, a guy that was projected to go second round. They have Colton Miller, who they just recently signed to a big extension. Is there what's the expectation with the offensive line here? Do you think Leatherwood's kind of more than what a second round expectation was, or do you think it's going to be a Raiders pick? They just like the guy in the 7th and want to draft him as high as humanly possible.
I personally think it's a decent offensive line. I think Leatherwood's a solid offensive lineman. I think he fell. Coming from Alabama, you're going to know the position. You're going to know it pretty well. And you're probably going to be a stand-up guy too, to be honest, coming from Alabama. But I think that Leatherwood's a solid offensive lineman. I think he's got good fundamentals, which obviously to build on is what you need. So I think he could definitely be good. Incognito, I just love his name, but he's also a great offensive lineman. So I don't know about Colton Miller. I'll be honest. I don't like the left tackle, but
4-year extension, $70 million. Has to be something good about him.
4 years, $70 million. Why don't I know this guy?
Follow the Play Action podcast over on Instagram. You get that notification right away when that
was that recently? When did he sign that?
Oh, like 3 months ago.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a little behind.
Okay, but
my bad, Colton Miller, if you're listening.
Let's head over to the defense here.
This defense. I'm
iffy with it. I'm iffy on it. I love Casey Hayward. I love this work from Green Bay to the Chargers. Now he's, opposing to the Chargers in the dark hole. Jonathan Abram, another year there. They have Carl Joseph still. Trevon Mullen Jr. I love the acquisition of Yannick Ngakoue, Corey Littleton. I'm a fan of those two. Clelin Ferrell, 2019 first-round pick, if I remember. And also Max Crosby, who's been killing it since day one, entering this team.
I like this defense, Will. I'm going to be honest. Especially Trayvon Moehrig. I think he's a guy that you got to look out for on this defense. He just got drafted, TCU. I think he's a solid safety. He fell to the second round. Should have been drafted first. But then you got guys, Clelin Ferrell, whatever you want to call him. Jonathan Hankins, defensive tackle, is just a big old dude. And Yannick Ngakoue. I think that's a solid. Carl Nassib, Gerald McCoy. Isn't Gerald McCoy injured?
I don't know if he's injured. I know he just recently signed with the team.
Yeah, I remember
he blew out his Achilles last season with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I think that the defense is now that I'm looking at it, Will, you're probably convincing me. I think it's.
I'm not sure how to feel. I want to say this team might be a below average defense.
I think so too.
I mean, this is the Raiders have gone through a lot of stuff, especially on defense. That the defensive coordinator got fired last year. I don't know who they ended up bringing in, but they have a lot of pieces to work with here and trying to make sure the front seven can get to the quarterback in time. Because this secondary, I'm not too impressed with to stop balls trying to get to them.
Yeah, I agree. The only guy that I think that I would be looking forward to on this team is the guy that I said, Trayvon Moehrig from TCU, because I watched him a lot coming from Big 12. So I think he's a solid safety, but I don't know about the rest of his defense.
And let's move into your Super Bowl runner-ups, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think there's really much to say about this team. You still have Patrick Mahomes. They did spend money. Joe Thuney gets, acquired from the Patriots, a 5-year deal, $85 million. They traded a first-round pick to the Ravens for Orlando Brown Jr. They still have Mike Remmers, backing up. They send Eric Fisher off on his way. He joins the Colts. Receivers are still, a great piece here as Josh is plugging in his computer or something.
Yeah,
What's
careful.
going on there, Josh?
I'm at 8% right now. I got to run.
I mean, and also looking at this stuff here, Patrick Mahomes, still great piece here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darren Williams goes to Chicago. Darrell Williams still here. Jerick McKinnon they bring in. And also Darwin Thompson. Cannot complain there.
If you see the setup that I have right now, Will, my extension cord is hanging above my side table, and the cord is literally like a zip line over here. So it's pretty legit. I'll post it on Snapchat to you. Yeah, what are we saying about this insane offense?
Is there any team that can honestly stop this Chiefs offense in the AFC? The NFC, clearly there's a team that could stop it, but the AFC, is there a team that can stop this?
We saw them in the Super Bowl, and we saw one single problem. That was the offensive line. They've completely rebooted this offensive line, and I think fixed it entirely. Maybe Orlando Brown, I think, is the one. Oklahoma product, by the way. Orlando Brown, he's a solid offensive line, but he's also old, so we'll see what he produces. But I think the rest of the offensive line, I like it a lot, especially Creed Humphrey, also Oklahoma product, center. Oklahoma. I hope he's still number 56. I don't know what his number is yet. But they fixed the one problem is what I'm trying to get at. I think that was their one, and it was a gaping hole, to be honest with you, in the Super Bowl. We saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life, still somehow getting throws off. So as long as he can get some sort of protection, I think the offense will be back on track, and we'll see, obviously, Mahomes be Mahomes and toss it up to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and all those guys. So I'm not worried at all about this offense, and I don't know if there's a team that can stop them. I really don't.
And I'm also a fan of the acquisition of Kyle Long, which I forgot because he's in the 4th string spot. Not really looking at that. But one guy that's actually very excited to be back here, Laurent, I'm going to pronounce this completely wrong. You have Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
Yes. This man was in Canada. He helped. He's a doctor. He didn't play last year. He was up there battling COVID. He's back this year. I think this man should get comeback player of the year automatically for what he's done in the medical field and trying to combat a virus like this.
So not like Saquon or I don't even know. It's Christian McCaffrey. None of those guys. That you want Laurent Duvernay-Tardif to get comeback player of the year.
Why not?
No, I get it. He's COVID's over. You're right. He saved us all. You nailed it. Well. Comeback player of the year. He saved you. This NFL player who's second string right guard for the Kansas City Chiefs.
He was a starter. He was a starter in the Super Bowl, I believe, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and look how that helped. Look how much he helped in that Super Bowl, Will.
Yeah, 2 years ago? Yeah, he did. All right. Let's go into defense here. And someone that I've been seeing a lot of, Jarius Sneed, the corner. I believe he was just drafted in this past draft. This is a guy that I've seen a lot of, so I guess this man's going to be the expectation's high for him. You still have Travarius Ward, Tyrann Mathieu, you have Swordson. I love the back end. Also, Mike Hughes, DeAndre Baker,
I love the back end.
DeAndre Baker, who was cut from the Giants last year. All the charges dropped. He goes there, so they get a first-round pick basically for free.
Hey, I was going to call him out. Can we look at some of these names, by the way, before I go into? Let's talk about DeAndre Baker real quick.
Bo Pete Keys.
Bo Pete Keys, and then you got a basic Madden character, literally named Marlon Character, Will. 4-string free safety. You see him?
Marlon Character.
Marlon Character. What a guy. What a name. Tim Ward, Damone Harris. I just like these names, to be honest with you. But DeAndre Baker, Omari Cobb. Wow. DeAndre Baker, I think he's got character issues. I think he's a head case. Add him to the list of NFL head cases.
I believe he broke his leg last year in the last game. Because the Chiefs were just resting their starters, and I think he broke his leg against the Chargers.
But I do think also, if it is a character issue, and if any coach is going to fix him, why not Andy Reid? I think Andy Reid's a heck of a coach, and if there's anybody that can fix somebody, it's probably him.
And also, you could continue.
I was just going to say, I think I like this offense a lot more than I like this defense, Will. And I don't think that's surprising.
I know the offense is going to be on the field for a total of like 8 seconds of most times because they're able to just pass the ball so far. Because Miko Hardman, you have Pringle, you have Tyreek Hill, you just have so many speedsters, and also Travis Kelce.
Who's a wide receiver.
End, top one. Who is a wide receiver? Who shaved his beard so he looks like
he looks horrible.
He does look horrible.
Horrible.
If you're listening to us, please grow back your beard. I've learned that from experience. I shaved off my beard and I look horrible.
I'm never shaving this off. I can't. I'm gonna look like just a baby with my bald head and no facial hair. I can't do it. I do not have a choice anymore.
But the front seven, Chris Jones, Jeff Frank Clark is dealing with some issues with the police right now. Anthony Hitchens, Willie Gay.
Frank Clark from Seattle, right?
Frank Clark was traded from Seattle. First round pick, I believe.
Yeah.
2019. So.
But he had problems with Seattle too, right? Or was he just pretty sure he had
I think it was just a contract dispute with Seattle. Yeah. No, just Seattle players. Jamal Adams, Frank Clark, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't even call out the coolest name on the list. Come on. Can you find it with me?
Who is it?
Come on.
I'm
Taco Charlton. Come on.
I forgot Taco Charlton.
Are you kidding me? This defense is just full of great names. Devon Key, Charvarius Ward, Joshua Kindo, whoever that is. Wow.
These people are going to be getting playing time by week 16 because every Chiefs player is going to be benched to rest.
They're going to be benched by week 14, Will. I don't know what you're thinking. They're going to be undefeated going into week 14. But, I mean, if you're I have a question for you. If you're another team playing the Chiefs and you said that the offense is going to be on the field for about 8 seconds, which is probably the most true statement you ever said, how do you beat the Chiefs? You're not stopping the offense. You're obviously probably going to score on the defense.
I mean, you're going to have to pray a little bit. I mean, you have to just game plan. You have to exhaust this defense out, because if this offense is going to be on the field for really 3 minutes or less on most drives, because they're going to be scoring a lot, you got to just be doing these long, methodical 8-9 minute drives to tire out this defense, because you want to make sure these guys are not going to be prepared to, be re-energized to go after your quarterback. So someone like Josh Allen, the Bills, they could, I mean, there might be the only people I could see line up and defeat them. Maybe the Steelers, maybe the Colts, the Titans I could also put on there. It depends the week. We'll see how the season goes through with this.
But I think also when you're playing them, you do say that, yes, you do need to exhaust his defense. And that's for one thing, I think, whenever you're doing it. But you're also trying to keep Mahomes off the field, because when he's on the field for even less than 2-minute drives, that's it. He's not tired. He can do that 20 times a game if he needs to. So I think really keeping the offense off the field, that's really the biggest key, I think, to beating this team. But
exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, that rounds out the show. Josh, I'll let you talk about the plans that you have going on with your podcast and anything that's on your mind. You could say right now.
Oh, anything on my mind? Oh,
okay. Oh, no. We're taking that back.
I need 10 minutes. Put me up. I need 10 minutes. All right. So behind me, you'll see my Xbox still on. I've been playing Madden Face the Franchise. I just got drafted to the Jaguars. I'm a quarterback. If that doesn't matter. I do 2 podcasts. One's called Talk Show U. One's called To the House. Talk Show U covers all things college football. You guys can find it on Instagram at Talk Show U, on Twitter at The Talk Show U. And To the House covers NFL. We cover pretty much everything just like these guys do. And that can be found at To the House JD on Instagram. Still pushing content out with those. Still having a good time with Will, even though he's halfway across the country for some reason. So
I almost accidentally removed you from here. That would have been really bad.
And then I just get removed from the entire room. That's what happens. I had to bring up my Madden. I have a future. Damn it! I have a future Hall of Famer above me. Looking forward to his first ballot Hall of Fame ticket.
Frank's Red Hot product producer man thing, something like that. But you can follow Colton and I's show, the Play Extra Podcast. Excuse me. You can find us on Facebook at Play Extra Podcast. Well, the Play Extra Podcast on Facebook, Play Extra Podcast over on Instagram, and Play Extra Pod 1 on Twitter. Josh, I also want to call you out because Talk Show U only says, we uploaded a new episode to Spreaker, and it's between 3 different shows that get uploaded. Oh, no, one show. I don't see Twitter getting used. I'm calling out Talk Show U's Twitter.
Twitter doesn't get used? All right, I'll look into it. I have a question. I have a legit question.
The man in the front here.
So with my jersey here, Eli Manning, future Hall of Famer, and your guys' Asamoah, Eric Berry, and
Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, sure. If they were in a basketball 1v1, Eli Manning versus any of those guys, who's winning?
Oh, Vincent Jackson, 6'5". I mean, God bless the soul. He's not here. It's been a half a year since he's left.
It has been 6 months. I feel bad that was the jersey that was ending, but Vincent Jackson, I mean, this man's 6'5". I don't think you're stopping him. I've only seen one person stop him, and that was Darrelle Revis in his prime. If I had the time, I would honestly pull up a clip here showing you how dominant this one play was for Darrelle Revis against Vincent Jackson. But Vincent Jackson's going to win because you're not going to defeat 6'5" against 6'1" and a dad bod right there with Eli. Hey, maybe he's really good at basketball. Maybe he's better than he is at football, which he was amazing at football. So
he's better at tweeting than he was at football.
He's a lot better at tweeting.
But ladies and gentlemen, follow our great shows down below. And always, I'm live with Colton every Wednesday. Colton's on vacation, but also follow his podcast, the Personal Foul Podcast, at foul_podcast over on Twitter. Join the conversation over there. Big Lakers guy, big Yankees guy, big Steelers guy. He loves all sports. He loves sports. He'll talk to you about anything. He loves sports. That's all I'm going to say on that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And hopefully we see you back next week. Thank you very much.